Okay, welcome to part three. Welcome to part three. This is Jeremiah. We greet you in the only name given amongst men. We do everything in that name, and that is the name of Jesus. 2022. Welcome to the New Covenant channels here. This should be the final segment. I hope it is, because we need to get going. I wanted to talk about me being the teacher. That we are a private church organization, and that I call this an institution of essentially an educational university with Sunday school, etc. And our prime target area is probably teens and adults here. We have not. I do have an affiliate, Brother Leland, who focuses on children, and he has children books and so forth. I might tie in with him. He has videos he just made about Noah for children and the ark and so forth. And I might uh, give a link to his work. He also sells books that he has written and so forth. He's a wonderful Christian brother who has a big ministry for children. And I'll probably tie in with him later on, but not at this time, okay? This is Jeremiah. So we have the basic target group, probably from 10 to 110. So and I think that a lot of young teens and so forth, pre-puberty, puberty children can enjoy a lot of this Bible teaching, as even teenagers can learn sound doctrine. There's nothing wrong with that. And especially since I've toned things down here pertaining to hell and fire and all that, because teenagers are not and children, in spite of the fact that everyone got together in America in a lot of churches, it was better for them to be separated when it was time for adult baptism, adult teaching, harlotry, and these types of things, and abominations. These things were supposed to be kept separate as best as possible. As many of you would agree, that we are to keep a lot of the over the top things away from the children as much as possible. And that's ASAP. So, and that is, it's kind of like a fence we're walking, but you know, we're going to be successful in this jockeying path that we're on. I don't see any problem with everything is going smooth at this time. Um, so, and the only thing I mentioned already is that there are some questions as to whether or not we're going to continue with any more romance music at all, because it's a dangerous path. In spite of the fact that America, most of the music that was made by these people were Christian people, and they're Christian people who were married and so forth, such as Valentine's Day and so forth. There's no harm, but it can create problems, because romance creates different types of problems. It can create lots of heartache and sadness. So it's an area that I'm going to tread on lightly, and there will be an admonition and a warning with some of these videos that we kind of have a mixed bag in. A little bit of love music and so forth, and romance, and then we have a hymn, and then we have Mozart or something, and so forth. All of that is dangerous turf. Now, but we won't talk about that anymore at this time, okay? So we are a private church organization. We are sound doctrine Protestant teachers. For those of you who don't know what Protestant is and what sound doctrine is, that's why you're here, so that you can learn what it is. That one of the main problems that we have with places that call themselves churches is they are not churches. That's why we call ourselves Protestants, because we have the persuasion that you must fit within our doctrinal parameters. And that is what America has decided to do in general. And when people try to sidestep, add, subtract, or twist any of our canon, we are there, snap, crackle, pop, to correct them, and even to ask them to leave or to disassociate ourselves from them. And that is by the Lord himself and his servant Paul, etc., who have given us these specific instructions that a fifth grader can understand. Did you hear what I just said? Okay, this is sound doctrine Protestant teaching. It's not that difficult to know the matrix and to stay within those boundaries, okay? And to give you some examples, we have people who have declared us as the enemy. The World Church has declared us as the enemy in their Jesuit vow. They specifically say that Protestants are the enemy. So, and there's only one rabbi here, teacher. I'm not the teacher. I'm an under teacher, a substitute. I am here, and we will have no other gods besides Jesus Christ. We don't have any women flying around here on the wall. God is a jealous God. We only serve him and serve him alone. Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one Lord. Thou shalt have no other gods besides me. That's the number one commandment. I've had third graders who could soak that up. Why do I see so many adults breaking that commandment around me, going to different buildings around here? That is not necessarily my business. We're here to help them and to guide them, but we're not here to harass them. You understand my point? The number one problem the Israelites had throughout the Old Testament was idolatry. They kept making idols. They wanted to watch people on their own early ancient televisions and worship them. And what they did was they forgot their God, to love their God, and to listen to the commandments of their God. And the number one commandment was to love him and love him alone as God. There are no images around here. There are no basketball stars. There's no one here but Jesus to be worshipped and adored, and that is the name of the ball game here. And that's what Protestantism generally should mean. Now, if you have a problem with that, then I can't help you. But that is what sound doctrine is. I'm telling you what it is now. And there's a Babylonian insertion in America where everyone wants to be just as the Israelites were. Nothing changes in human character where people start worshiping other things other than the Lord their God. That's money, food, their lifespan here, romance, which can go definitely wild. Okay, so that's why we have all of these warnings, and that's why we teach here, so that everyone stays on the narrow path. Okay, no other gods besides me. Okay, and that Jesus is I am. He is to be worshipped just as the Father is worshipped. There are a lot of things that are cornerstone to Protestantism, and I'm giving them to you right now because we're just about halfway done with this introduction, okay? As I let you know what are some of the bottom line things pertaining to this ministry or any legitimate Protestant ministry, okay? You say, Jeremiah, you're giving a lot of information now. Well, you know what? Kindergarten's over. It's time for you to take notes. It's time for you to wake up. Some of you are entertainment entrenched Americans and so forth, and it's time for you to get out of it. They have a famous saying in England, get out of it. In other words, get out of here. They say get out of it over there. Or leave me alone or get out of here. We say get out of here. So the sound doctrine Protestant teachings are the main issue here. We have music. I just added some more hymns. I modernized a few for you to listen to and enjoy. They're there for you. And that is probably the second thing we've got going on now with hymns. And I have some personal music I wrote, which is I had some fun writing some music, which is eclectic, all different styles. And we have, of course, the videos pertaining to photos of high definition and pictures of Jesus Christ, statues, and so forth. And of course, we're not going to worship a statue. We're just looking at it from a beauty perspective. And we're also going to share with you some photos, and we're going to, that's the big ball of wax here, okay? And the focus here in 2022, and by the way, I will be giving you some teachings on some of the artwork. This is an academic institution. It will be anecdotal, or cursory is probably a better word, looking at some of the styles of some of these famous artists, which I like to look at, and I enjoy their work. So that's a part of my ministry here, and we will not spend that much time on it, though. Once again, it will be cursory, it will be quick, in brevity. So the focus here is beauty, heaven, and purity, and the rapture. Those are some of the main ideas we have this year, okay? And that is that beauty comes from heaven. That's the point. Beauty didn't come from nowhere. They told me in school that beauty came from nowhere. And I found that rather interesting because my father taught me as a Protestant Bible instructor that beauty came from God. And it came from purity. That purity can create. Purity can create and maintain and preserve. That's why David, we just read David who said, thy salvation. Thy strength, thy salvation. Psalm 21:1, your salvation. It's his power, it's his ability to cover you and preserve you based upon his worth, not yours. It's a gift of God, not of you at all. Not of any of your efforts at all. That's what Protestantism is, okay? And so we're getting into that now, and we're going to continue to hammer all of this sound doctrine home over and over again, how beauty reflects heaven. And Paul told you that in the book of Romans, that you should be on your knees, getting in order, getting yourself in order, listening to commands, being commanded. God told Joshua, have I not commanded you? That's what this is about here. And the thing is that beauty should have you on your knees. Because you're looking at purity, you're looking at God, you're looking at the ability of what purity can do when things get in order. When things get in order, they can be preserved and they can be beautiful. When they get out of order, they go into darkness and they lose their beauty. It's very simple, the basic premise of this year. Next year, I'll probably go into more grace and mercy, coming from our brother David here, King David. But this year, the focus is beauty and heaven and purity and the rapture. Being prepared for the rapture. 5 are going to leave, 5 are going to be stuck here. You don't want to be the 5 that are stuck here. Okay? You got that? Okay. The reason for these videos and all this beauty is to introduce the prize to you for loving Jesus Christ and serving him and offering yourself as a living sacrifice unto the Master. This is the prize. The prize is the beauty you're seeing. Many people who watch my beauty lessons and see some of these videos, some of these high definition beautiful things that the Christians are now starting to get more into, they're going to get confused. They're going to think that beauty is theirs and they're just going to enjoy it. That's called wrong answer. Because of Adam and Eve, your grandparents' sins, our grandparents took that beauty and they snatched it away from us. You were born and shaped in iniquity. The beauty is going to leave you. But Jesus came to introduce a path so that you can keep that beauty. A lot of people are going to watch my videos and go, oh, everything's beautiful, Jeremiah, wee! And they're going to look at it with levity. They're going to be spaced out, and that's not good because the beauty is here to show you that get on your knees, serve Jesus Christ, get back in order. What your grandparents got yourself out of order, get back in order. Listen to commands now. Don't ignore the commands. The command to love your neighbor and to submit yourself to Jesus Christ and to be merciful. Then we have a winner on our hands. We have a person who was born cursed, essentially, who is now blessed. That's what blessed is. It's the ownership of your soul based upon you eating living bread, which are commandments. Full submission to Jesus Christ. That's what Israel means. Submitted to Jesus or submitted to God or Yah. Israel. Now let's get going as we wrap this up. So the rapture is the big issue, and beauty is I'm trying to use beauty this year to impress upon the American and everyone else that this beauty can be yours. The meek shall inherit all of this. It's yours. No taxes. You can wander around it through eternity. Just wander. It's all yours. No gasoline, no nothing, no taxes, no poverty, no stealing, no robbers, nothing. It's yours. Okay? That's the point here. Now we're going to stop right here. This is Jeremiah shutting down. Maranatha will be right back as we get into the rapture. Okay? Maranatha.